Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who haven't been here before, I'm Phoebe and I'll be your yoga teacher for the practice. And today is our Yuletied yin. So we're focusing on the Christmas element. The previous video last week was all about a festive flow. And this week we're going to be doing some more slow movements, holding the poses for a bit longer and working through our being present yin. So obviously last video I mentioned having some time for yourself away from everything else that's happening, and one of the best ways for being present is by taking that time on the mat where it's just you and your practice. So yes, this yin is going to focus all on that, and you should feel really good and like you've had a bit of time away from anything else that's happening. One thing I will say is I have a bolster and a block for this practice. You don't have to use these, but if you do want a prop and you don't necessarily have a bolster and a block, I'd recommend getting a couple of pillows from either your sofa or your bed maybe. And then for a block, if you want a block, then maybe just get a couple of books, put them on top of each other, and it will create a bit more height for you. Apart from that, I think we are ready to go. I will say as well, I've set some candles behind just so it's a little bit cozy for me when I'm doing the practice. Often in yin, it's quite nice to make the room nice and warm, set the scene basically for your practice. So if you want to go and get any candles, then pop them on now, and pop any playlist you want, any relaxing playlist in the background, just so you can really make the most of it. So we will make a start and we'll come to the back of the mat. So just kneel here for a moment. All right, so kneeling, bring your hands to your legs and start taking some breaths. Start acknowledging how you're feeling. So you may be feeling a bit more stressed or uptight today, or you may be feeling already quite nice and relaxed. But wherever you are, just acknowledge that and just think about how you're arriving onto the mat today. And just while we're here breathing, maybe set an intention for yourself, something that's going to guide you through the practice. Maybe something you want to achieve from the practice, or something you want to let go of. So we're going to start taking some big belly breaths. So if you feel more comfortable having your hand on your belly just to feel the movement, then do that. But when we inhale, our tummy expands. Exhale, draw that belly button to spine. Inhale again. Taking these breaths nice and slowly. Exhale through the nose. So keep going through these breaths, trying to really inhale as much as we can, and then push the air out as much as we can. It sometimes helps when you're breathing out just to constrict or to tense the tummy, just to push even more out. And try to go through these breaths through your nose. Perfect, so we'll take a few more breaths here. Whenever you're ready, just start to release the hand from the belly and start to blink open the eyes. We're going to go to our first yin pose. which is going to be our child's pose. So to make it a bit more restorative and relaxing, just bring a bolster or a pillow in between your legs, toes together, knees apart, and we're going to sink down over the bolster. So take a breath in, so inhale. As you exhale, just start to walk the hands forwards on the mat and rest down onto the bolster. You can have your forehead on the bolster, or you can have a cheek on the bolster. So you can turn your head to one side just to make it really relaxing. And while you're here, just again think about that intention that you've set. So just breathing here. And when you inhale, you may feel the belly touch onto the top of the thighs. And when you exhale, you may feel it lift off. Just keep taking your time through these breaths. So we'll take about 3 more breaths here. Trying to really sink down over the bolster and make the most of the pose. Once you've taken those 3 breaths, just start to lift yourself back off of the bolster. We're going to push it to one side for a moment, and then we're going to lie onto our tummies. So come to on the front, come lying onto the mat. And from here, we're going to go to a half frog position. So we're going to bring our right leg, our right knee, up beside us. So you want to look towards the leg and make sure you've got almost like a 90 degree in the leg. Try to keep pushing your right hip down onto the mat, and then keep your left hip nice and open. So from here, we're going to bring our hands on top of each other and then just rest the forehead down onto those hands. Again, we'll start taking some breaths here. Trying to really elongate both the inhale and the exhale. And with each exhale, you become deeper and deeper into the pose. So we'll take a last breath here. gradually start to slide that right leg next to the left. Keep your head on the hands, and we're just going to rock the hips from side to side. Nice and gently, nice and slowly. And then we'll gradually find some stillness again. From here, we're going to go to the other side. So bring that left knee all the way up. Find your 90 degree in the legs. And then gently rest the forehead back down onto the hands. And again, start taking some breaths here. Just start breathing nice and slowly, nice and gently. And again, we'll take a last breath on this side. And then we'll gently start to bring the left leg next to the right. Keep your head on the hands, and again, we'll take some rocks from side to side. And then we'll find stillness again. Start to lift yourself up onto the forearms, and we're going to start to take our Sphinx pose. So we've got a couple of options here in Sphinx. You can have your elbows or your forearms nice and flat on the mat, opening up the chest, looking forwards. Or if you do want to go for a bit more of a supported Sphinx, then you can bring a pillow or a bolster just underneath the arms, so kind of having it so your chest is resting onto the bolster, and then drop the elbows and the forearms down onto the mat. And while you're here, really think about opening up in the shoulders, so pushing those shoulder blades down, facing forwards, but then relaxing into the pose. So this pose is really good for lower back pain and tension. And often it's our lower back that takes the brunt during these periods, these Christmas periods, whether this is because of sitting down, watching lots of Christmas specials, or whether it's because we like to really party hard in the Christmas period and we like to do a lot of dancing. But whatever it is, we're just going to take a moment here to release that tension and send a bit of love towards the lower back. And if you're happy here with your face or your head just tilted up slightly looking forwards, then stay here. Or if you want to just bend into the neck, so bring the chin to face towards the mat, and you'll feel that it relaxes the neck slightly. So we're not bending too far into the neck. We don't want to be like and each breath you take, each inhale you take, find a bit of space. And in each exhale you take, you just move further into the pose. You find even more of a back bend and you become even more relaxed. Inhale, find space. Exhale, move into the space. We'll take 3 more breaths here. And whenever you're ready, just start to lift the head back up. Bring the bolster from underneath you and just pop it to one side. And we're going to roll onto our back. So find yourself lying on the mat. And we're going to bring the knees in towards the chest. So hold on to the knees and we'll take a little rock from side to side. It should feel quite nice after that small back bend we did. It's just a way of countering it, but also a way of releasing and taking a little bit of a massage onto that lower back. And then we'll gradually start to find the middle, find a bit of stillness. Drop the feet down onto the mat. Lift the hips up towards the right and just drop them down. So we're readjusting them so that our hips are nice and stacked. Then we're going to drop the knees down to the left. Cactus your arms, so bring them out to the side but bend into them. And you want to have your elbows in line with your shoulders. Once you've found that pose, and you may want to pop a pillow underneath the knees or a bolster if you need a bit more height. But we'll either stay here facing up towards the ceiling, or we can start to look towards or face your face towards the right side. And just start to breathe into the pose. Breathe into the twist. And maybe while you're here, you want to come back to your intention. So that guiding thing that you've set for yourself at the beginning, just remind yourself of it now. And we'll just start taking a few more breaths here. And then we'll gradually start to lift the knees back up. Readjust your hips, but this time we're going to pop them over towards the left. And then drop your knees over towards the right. And find whatever's comfortable for you. So whether it's facing your face up towards the ceiling, or whether you want to turn your neck and just face towards the left. And start taking some breaths here. And again, come back to that intention. So what was it guiding you through the practice? But this time, I want you to turn that intention into an affirmation. So your intention is your to be. And your affirmation is the same thing, but we're going to turn it into a present tense and make it an I am. We'll take 3 more breaths here. And then we can start to lift the knees back up through center, pop the hips back to the middle. Bring the knees towards the chest again and just hold on to the knees and take a little rock from side to side. And again, massaging that lower back, releasing any tension. And this time we'll move on from rocking and we'll just hold on to the knees, roll them around one way. And then roll them around the other way. And then we'll start to find the center again. We're going to move to our final pose, which is going to be our supported fish pose, but we're going to move into a bit of a reclined butterfly as well. So I'll just show you what we need to be doing. We'll grab a bolster or a pillow and just pop it at the top of the mat. We want to be lowering ourselves down onto the bolster so that our bottom of our ribs is touching the bottom of the bolster. So if you start to lower yourself down, find where the bolster is, and then release the upper body onto that bolster. And then from here, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall away from one another. So we're finding that reclined butterfly shape. And if you do struggle with a bit of knee pain, then just pop some pillows or some bolsters underneath your knees just to support you. We're going to bring both hands to the belly and just keep those elbows rested on the mat just to make sure we're not forcing anything or tensing up too much. We'll start taking some big belly breaths again. So we're going to end this practice the same way that we started, taking our breath work, taking our full yogic breaths. And again, just to remind you, it's inhale through the belly, so expand the tummy. And then exhale, push the breath out, draw the belly button to spine. And this might be a good time to come back to your affirmation and your intention that you set for yourself. Take a moment to think about how you feel now compared to how you felt at the beginning of the practice when you stepped onto the mat. And this is where I will leave you. You're more than welcome to stay here for as long as you like, just soaking up the relaxation. But I will see you next time. Thank you so much for coming along, and make sure to subscribe to the channel or like any videos that you particularly like, just so I know what you're enjoying. Thank you.